Hello everyone, Ryan here. So, first book I wanted to review for my new booktube channel is Me and Earl and the Dying Girl by Jesse Andrews. And it's definitely not your typical YA novel, but I like that. Essentially, the main character, Greg Gaines, he is kind of a loner, I guess you could say a typical teenage loner for much of high school. Now, of course, he throughout the book he mentions the fact that he never bothered to join any kind of group or clique in order to survive, as he put it. And of course, ultimately, it's obvious that he does this as kind of a defense mechanism in order to avoid unnecessary confrontations, and which obviously, if you've been through high school, which a lot of us have, and you know that there always seems to be some kind of unnecessary confrontations with, your fellow classmates and peers and whatnot. And so this works for Greg pretty much up until his senior year in high school, and when all of a sudden one day he finds out from his mom. His mom tells him that an ex-Hebrew school classmate of his, Rachel, has been recently diagnosed with leukemia, and she then kind of tells him that he should spend as much time with her as possible and, try to cheer her up. And, of course, he's reluctant at first, and not because he actually has any kind of deep feelings for her, but mostly because of the fact that he never really considered Rachel to be a friend. But nonetheless, he eventually goes over to his house, and he reluctantly tries to hang out with Rachel, and she's reluctant at first too. Though eventually they end up forging this kind of, I guess you could say, somewhat awkward friendship. And then, of course, Earl, who is pretty much Greg's only somewhat friend. Earl is hilarious. I mean, he's definitely the I guess you say, comic relief throughout. Now, it's obvious that Earl's sense of humor is, you could say it's kind of immature and offensive, but that's pretty much what makes him awesome. I mean, Earl, as a character, he's awesome. But not only that, I mean, for me, I've known guys like Earl, and especially in high school, I knew at least maybe 4 or 5 guys that had the same kind of sense of humor as Earl. It was immature and offensive, and but they didn't give a damn. They just they said what was on their minds, and usually it always came out as being hilarious because it came from an immature perspective. And so I guess that's what Earl reminds me of. And obviously I know I will say that if you're easily offended by crude jokes or immature jokes, then you probably won't like this book that much. But one thing to keep in mind is that Earl and Greg, and they're teenagers, they're teenage boys. So I mean, everybody knows how immature teenage boys are and whatnot. So I mean, I don't know. For me, I guess that's probably, I would say, the main reason why I really enjoyed this book, just because it reminded me of when I was an immature teenage boy. So, other than how I guess you could say I'm kind of an immature adult, but hey, it's try not to take life too seriously. I guess that's what I like about this book too, is because if there is any kind of moral message throughout, I would say it's that don't take life too seriously. Uh, even if you end up having to confront some kind of really serious thing, whether it be an illness or a really serious problem that requires your immediate attention or whatever. I mean, whatever it is, whatever you have to go through in life, it's important to remember. I mean that not to take it too seriously, because that too won't necessarily help matters. I mean, I don't know. That's what I think. So, so yeah. I mean, overall, I really like this book. I believe everybody should read it. Unless unless you're the type who's easily offended, especially by immature jokes, then you probably won't like it. But other than that, I definitely recommend it. I highly recommend it. I believe everybody should read it. Definitely read it. All right. Of course, there is a movie version, which I recently saw the movie version, and it doesn't hold a candle to the book. It's okay. It's okay. But they condensed way too much of the story, which obviously they always do when they adapt, a book into a movie. But yeah, I didn't like the movie that much, but the book, definitely I give it 5 out of 5 stars. I believe that's what I rated it on Goodreads too. So yeah, there you go. Me and Earl and a Dying Girl. Read it if you haven't already. So yeah, I don't know. Let me know if you've read it too. Just leave me a comment, and again, I just really like this book, and I actually can't wait to get around to rereading it. So, but of course, obviously, I have to get through at least 7 or 8 other books in my to be read pile. So I don't know. But yeah, there you go. Me and Earl and Dying Girl. That'll do it for this review, I guess. Thanks for watching. Thanks for everybody who commented on my first video and subscribed and all that. I definitely appreciate it. So yeah. Till next time, keep it real. Rock on. Peace.